Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. Today I want to show you my most recent project, which is the Chaosslinger Trickster, having max block. Should have max block at some point. You know, this has been the character that I just gotta say, this has been the most fun that I had in this entire league yet, with the builds that I've played. It's an amazing build. You guys know, if you follow my channel for quite some time, you know that I kind of love Essence Drain Contagion, and I was always a big fan of, and I'm usually playing it every single league once. And since we got the Spellslinger now, it was time to make an... Where is it? God damn it, Spellslinger, here we go. It was time to make a one-button Essence Drain Contagion build using Frenzy to trigger my Essence Drain and Contagion with one single button press. And as I just said, I just love this build. I know you're probably going to encounter this as well. It's not the best DPS, okay? It's not a 10 million one-shot machine or something, but it's insanely tanky. I use this character to do Saurus carries, Uber Elder carries, farming my 60 Simulacrums, all on 20 waves. There is not a single encounter that I haven't done deathless with this character yet, besides Owl, because I couldn't find him in my Delph yet, but all of that, like... Uber Atziri, Uber Elder, like whatever encounter you want to see here, this build is super nice to just do it in the first take. So, before we talk about anything into this build and why I'm using a taming and stuff like that, this build is still in progress, okay? I still want to show you guys what I've been working on as a build guide, because I'm going to mention every single part of the gear, what I would like to have on it, and what is my current state, and what would be the more budget version of it, okay? So this is just like a run-through, basically. For the map showcase, we're gonna run a canyon map with Nemesis, because I was rolling some Nemesis Sextant here. So this is 4 of the Awakener Watchstones, basically. Currency +3, we have Poison, we have Breaches, we have Fire Damage. We run this tier 16. We're gonna add some fragments, I would say. Let's do our some Scarabs. Let's do some Nico. Probably a Legion encounter, so you see that as well. Probably a Metamorph on top of that. Maybe some, let's say... We're gonna add some Shaper influence, so I think this map is pretty decent here on this part. This is probably one of the hardest maps. No Delirium Orb. I will show you a Delirium, full max juice Delirium Canyon map in another video, because this map, it is possible, okay, but I think it took me like 20 minutes to kill one single map with max juice Delirium 100%. It's insane, okay? So for this one, we're gonna use Canyon map. We do actually have twin bosses, and we're gonna run like, I don't know, probably Perandus, because I'm currently doing my challenge on top of that. So as I said, this is with 4 Watchstones, is somewhere tier 17, tier 18, something like that. Let me put down the sound a little bit. So as you're gonna see, the character is super tanky, okay? DPS is another thing, but currently having like 2 million Shaper DPS when it comes down to stacking Blight on top of that. But in the end, I'm just running through, I'm making all the Deliriums until the end, bosses, whatever I'm doing with this build. It's just a lot of fun, and especially with this one trigger mechanic, one button press, spreading Essence Drain Contagion. As you see, there's a lot of monsters here. I would like to have a Rampage counter. It's probably already on 1000 basically. But you just run around, one button press is enough to clear entire packs. Basically, the more, what's it called? The more monster density you have, the better. And in Delirium monsters, you just you kite them around, basically, run through them. We have phasing and stuff like that. We're just gonna press one button, and in the end, you just loot. That's it, you know? And as I said, I cannot say it often enough how much I love this build. It's just amazing. Good, let's just continue with this map. We're still on like 3 loots now, or at least like 5 times. So here should be the boss somewhere. So you just run around, press your Essence Drain Contagion, everything is just, yeah, disappearing basically. So here should be the boss. So as I said, this is a twin boss, popping my Vile Blight, so I can pretty much face tank all of those. And I'm getting disconnected. No, wait, it's Shape. What? Wait, it's actually Shaper. Huh? I didn't have this one once yet. That is actually weird. Holy shit. Alright, never mind. As I said, it's twin bosses, and it's an Awakener level 8, obviously, because I'm only playing Awakener 8. But as you see, it's not really a big deal here to finish off these bosses either. Some more blights over here, some more over there. As I said, boss damage could be better, but we're still on Awakener 8, so these guys do have quite some life as well. Good, that's it for the boss, so let's just continue, run back. I'm still missing my Legion Stone somewhere. Where is my beautiful Legion Stone? Because Legion with Essence Drain is a blast, dude. It's insane. So let's just continue here. Here, Prophecy procced. Some more maps. What is this? Fragment? Oh, this was the Delirium thing. So, is there an Unnatural Instinct? No, there is no. Probably gonna come back to the loot a little bit later. Although, no, I have to actually pick it up, because if we do the build guide later, the map will probably just close on its own, just because we have spent so much time outside of the map, something like that. So let's just pick up everything real quick. I think there wasn't any, like, mandatory drops anyways at the moment. Just do this one real quick, the Perandus chest, because I need to loot, like, 150 of those or something for the challenge. So, good. That one picked up. Here's some more Chaos Saxtons. There's another breach. I just love this build, I don't know. So, let's open the breach together with the Legion Stone, because more monsters is more spread. Here is another strong box. Here is a Legion Stone. And poof, it starts spreading. Do we get a one-shot? 12 seconds left? No, it stopped here, sadly. Good. Some more here, some more there. That's like bad when your chain is interrupted by some walls or whatever. So good. Let's run into here so we have some more of these, what's it called? Breach dudes before it closes. Spread everything. Open some of these, some of that. Let's clear off that, dudes. But as you see, it's ridiculously tanky. Delving is not a problem at all. You can do every content in the game with it if you accept the fact that you have a little bit less DPS. But as I said, I've done all content already multiple times. There is not a big deal. It's not a big deal at all. Good, then I would say let's do the Metamorph real quick. So, currency, whatever this is, whatever this is. It's always nice to have, like, Vile Discipline or something, so you can pretty much face tank the majority of the content. Is this guy actually losing any life? Shit. We have the good old tankiness of the Energy Shield on block, for example. We have a lot of spell dodge, dodge chance, like whatever you want in this build, it's there. I love it. I love it. I cannot say it often enough. So, let's kill off this dude. Some Val Blight here. Just face tanking this dude pretty much. Spread this one. Where's my loot explosion? There it is. And that's it. That's a max juice basically on the canyon map here. Everything without a headhunter. Even though I'm a big fan of headhunter, I just don't really see a reason to use it in a build like that is actually using energy shield instead of life and stuff like that. Good. So let's pick up that. Hopefully everybody is now satisfied, because I always get so many hate comments when I don't show a map showcase, so hope you appreciate it. Good. Alchemy, Sax Tint, Alchemy, Studded Belts, Sackham, whatever. Double 6 socket. Yeah, that should be fine now. Stack Dex. Nothing. Alright, good. Let's talk about the build. As I said, all content clear, every boss. Cyrus you can face tank pretty much. Even like when you have flasks up, for example, you can even face tank his triple beam, which is super nice. So let's throw everything into the loot tab over here. And let's talk about the build itself. So, as I said, this build is still in progress. Not a lot of, like, half of the gear still needs to be replaced, but it's some kind of, like, grinding, you know, get currency, invest more, craft more stuff. So it will come over time to make this build even better, but it can already clear all content, so I'm just gonna give you my honest opinion about it. Good. Let's start from top to bottom, I would say, or let's talk about the key facts of this build. Basically, we are taking the percentage energy shield when you block, combined with the Kiloaver Glancing Blows keystone here, where it says your chance to block attack damage is double, chance to block spell damage is double, and you take 50% of the blocked hit. Means when I get a 1000 damage hit, 3 out of 4 times I will block it and getting only half of the damage. And then once I block, I'm getting 5% energy shield recovered based on my energy shield. That also means the more energy shield I have, the more I will recover as well. And if this is not enough, if you say, okay, 4 hits, 3 gonna get blocked, 1 is going to get through, we still have the face aggro here, where we have chance to dodge spell hits, and based on our evasion, we're gonna get dodge, chance, and evade as well. Good, this is the core mechanic of the build, and therefore we're not using a bow. I do know that bows will bring you a lot more DPS, so I'm currently having about 2 million Shaper DPS, while we have about 700,000 dot DPS on my Essence Drain. But don't forget your Blight, it stacks up 20 times, so if you're gonna just calculate, we have 70,000 damage over here times 20 is about 1.4 million Shaper DPS, plus the 700,000 that we have from Essence Drain is roughly about 2 million Shaper DPS, which should be fine for doing all content. Just make sure, yes, this build can fully juice tier 16 maximum delirium maps, but I did one already. I died once, gotta admit, somewhere at the end, but still it takes like 20 or 30 minutes because these monsters are ridiculously tanky. This is the kind of end game that I want to have, and I'm even looking more forward to getting more currency thrown at this build to get the damage ramped up, to hit my caps basically, to do those more efficient, because at the moment, spending so much time in one single map, I wouldn't call that efficient at all, even if you get an Exalt drop, because in like 30 minutes, how many maps you can run if you don't run Max Juice Delirium? Good. Let's start from the top side. We have here, I'm having a Hubris Circlet with the supported as Spell Slinger, have 15% reduced mana reservation. This is because I decided to run 2 Spell Slingers, which one is the Essence Drain and one is the Contagion. So I use one attack and both fires off, which is the one button Essence Drain dream that I always wanted in the past couple of leagues. This is basically, you guys know I love one button builds. But this was the only exception where I'm pressing Contagion and Essence Drain. My only love 2-button build, but now it has become a 1-button build. Even though I'm sacrificing DPS, just gonna say, but it's not too much, and I just love it. Good. We have here Blight, Infused Channeling, Awaken Control Destruction if you have, or Control Destruction, and Swift Affliction for the DPS. And the Infused Channeling, once you start channeling, you get the infusion and you deal more damage. Basically on a Chaos, for example, that also counts then for Essence Drain, Contagion, whatever you do. So this is just Chaos spammed or Dense Fossil crafted just for energy shield and resistance, nothing too fancy yet. If I would upgrade this one, I don't even know. I don't think the Helm slot gives you too much, basically. I want to have the enchant if possible, because then if you don't have the enchant, your Spell Slinger will reserve more mana, and that means more aura. So I would prioritize the Spell Slinger support pretty heavily, to be honest, to reserve that amount that I do. Good, then on the weapon, this is an Aberrant crafted Opal Wand. The Opal Wands do have the highest spell damage implicit. You might wonder, why don't you take a wand that is having more attack speed to trigger as many Spell Slingers as possible? So this is not like a barrage, an arc build or something where you say like the more arc casts you get out, the better. This is an Essence Drain build. Means my Essence Drain currently lasts for I think like 6 seconds or so. Or base duration 4 seconds, but then with the skill effect duration, blah, 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 it's going to be more. So that means on a target, I need to shoot one single time every 3.8 seconds or 4 seconds, whatever, to keep my DPS up. So what I do is just get the essence off and then just channel Blight. I don't need to permanently spam my Frenzy here to get the maximum procs, because the Essence Drain itself does have an impact damage, but not a lot. This is completely like on my 300,000 dot DPS, the impact hit does like 15,000 maybe, so that's completely garbage, so I'm taking the spell implicit. What do you want to have on those? You want to craft those with the Aberrant Fossils on a Hunter base, because then there is a couple of modifiers that you want to have. +1 Chaos to skill gems, Chaos.multi, the Spear on hit, and one that I forgot kinda, Chaos damage, whatever. There's like a couple of combinations, but it's really, really hard to hit. To hit the Chaos dot and Chaos skills, I needed about 150 fossils to hit this mod once, and luckily I was getting the tier 1 as well, so I just cleaned off. Prefixes cannot be changed, scoured off. The good thing is I crafted now cast speed and chaos damage. 60% chaos damage is not a lot. Cast speed, what do I need cast speed for? But I just want to have anything. I could add some trigger socketed spell, for example, or fixing my resistance. And I'm honest here. I would actually consider crafting resistance on my wand, because what do I need? Chaos.multi, +1 chaos skills, and that's it. I could annul off, obviously, the cold damage, but I don't want to risk it because it took quite some aberrant fossil to actually get to this stage of the wand. Maybe later I will actually try to annul this one off, but I'm probably going to hit Chaos multi or something, and then I can start over again. But for me, this is fine now. I'm running a level 1 cast damage taking with Tempest Shield and Withering Stab. Tempest Shield gives you 3% chance to block attack damage and chance to block spell damage, which is then doubled based on the glancing blows. On my shield, most important here is the recover 5% energy shield when you block. I just bought the titanium spirit shield on a shaped base because it offers the highest base on the energy shield on shields. You can also use, I think, the fossilized spirit shield or something like that, which gives you spell damage. But to be honest, energy shield is nice to have. The more energy shield, the more tanky we get, the more recover, and so on. So the easiest way to do this is just go PoE trade, search for this 5% increased energy recovery of energy shield, and then sort by energy shield and try to get the best out of for your currency, basically. This one is crafted with dense fossils, which has a higher chance of getting energy shield modifiers, and I'll leave it as it, okay? So it has 300 ES, and it has the block mod, an open suffix for resistance. At the moment, it's fine. What I would like to get is combining the Shaper energy shield mod with the Crusader spell block, okay? There is a mod on the Crusader that has like 12% spell block, or was it on the Shaper, and the Crusader mod can also have the recover energy shield, but I want to combine ES recover on block and spell block combined, and then try to craft some energy shield on it, because then I would be spell block as well, because at the moment I'm on 72% block attack damage and 48 spell block, so if I get 12% roll on my shield, then 24% through the glancing blows, and I'm almost spell block capped as well. Good, I'm having here Malevolence, Clarity on Blood Magic. If you cannot reserve that, Malevolence is the only thing that you actually need. The Clarity I have through my because of my Watcher's Eye, because of the max ES on Clarity. If you want to build this one in later on as well, if you get the currency, because they started about 35 exalts or something, so not for the cheap budget here. So if you don't want to have this one, Malevolence on Blood Magic is fair enough. Usually this one will soak up like 90-something% with a level 16 or 17 Blood Magic. So if you say, hey mbX, I cannot reserve my Malevolence, then it's because either your Blood Magic is level too low or you're too low level, because I'm also having here some mana reservation notes on my tree. Good, for the chest here, we have a shafts. Obviously, chaos damage does not bypass your energy shield. This is one of a few sources where we can actually play low life. And why do I play low life? Obviously, because of the pain attunement, which gives me 30% more spell damage when on low life. This is as soon as I hit less than 35% life, which I have because my Malevolence is reserving about 85%, so we are fine over or lower than the low life cap. The next thing is I can reserve auras on my life. That means I have more freedom for my Spellslinger supports. There is an option there you play with an like an evasion base armor and play it on CI, but then you're gonna have a rough time like reserving your Spellslingers, because then you need to skip your Malevolence. This will give you less damage and so on. So I was thinking about making a budget version with the just CI version, but to be honest, I planned this build from the beginning on the shafts. If you don't have, let's say, 15 exalts or something to spare, or maybe 20, I don't know how much a 6-link shafts is. Jayular is pretty cheap, but I would say, like, let's say 10 to 15 exalts roughly to start with the build, okay? If you don't have that, then it's better to look for the CI version, but this one is the low life version. This one is the Chaosslinger version, and I don't want to make it cheaper at this point. Having here Essence Drain, Spellslinger, Efficiency, Awaken Control Destruction, Swift Affliction, and Void Manipulation. I'm not entirely sure if this is the best combination. It might actually be. I haven't checked yet. As I said, this is still in progress. If we're actually adding, let's see, where is my my essence drain. Let's say we add an empower level 4. So we unlock this one. Let's see on the skill tree if this is actually the optimal setup. So I'm having here 600k. Let's disable, I would say, Void Manipulation. This one is 680. So the Void Manipulation on the Awakened version is a tiny little bit better than the Empower level 4. So basically, if you have a +1 shaft, for example, then I think that the Empower will take over because the Empower gets an additional level and will also support your Essence Drain. Good. With these shafts, you need to have a Presence of Chayula, or at least you want to have one. Max Life Convert to Energy Shield, gives you a bunch of Energy Shield, gives you a bunch of Chaos Resistance. I qualified this up with the Resistance Catalyst to have 72% Chaos Resistance, and I'm using the Cleansed Thoughts, which is this keystone over here, or at least the note, for a Sewer Oil, Gold Oil, and Clean Oil or something. Chaos Resistance is doubled. Okay, this is an easy way with the Chayula here to get Chaos Res Cap. And Chaos Res Cap is something really, really nice to have, especially once you start face tanking Cyrus as well. Like, it's just quality of life to have Chaos Res Cap. And if you play low life with the Presence of Chayula, it's super easy to get. If you get another chaos resistance source on your gloves, boots, belt, whatever, then you can obviously remove this one and go for Tranquility, because this will give you damage based on your energy shield, I think. So it will give you quite some DPS gain, but for me on this build, safety first. I want to have my block and my tankiness before I go for DPS. You need to think of like a bar, a scroll bar. You're settled down in the middle by 50%, you have 0%, 100%, and then you move. 0% is like maximum damage and 100% is maximum tankiness, so you need to move the bar. If I want to have more DPS, I have to remove some of the tankiness, but I prioritize the tankiness here way more than the DPS. It's still a chaos build, and I'm already doing all content. It's not the best DPS, obviously, but it's super fine, and I just love to be as tanky as this character is. Good. Next point on the list. Rings. I'm having here a Dream Fragments. This is the cheap option to get a bunch of cold resistance and to be freeze immune, which is super nice on Cyrus, because if the triple beam hits you and you get frozen, you're probably gonna die, but with this ring, you're just immune to chill and freeze, so that's super nice, while on top giving you like 60, 70, over 80% cold resistance on top, and it gives you a bunch of regen, so you can permanently sustain your Blight here on all kinds of encounters. The second ring, I would like to have an energy shield, like maybe a Moonstone ring or a 2-stone ring for resistance, adding a bunch of energy shield, maybe Curse on hit to remove my Curse Flask. This one here, the only reason why I'm wearing this is to cap my resistance. As you see, I'm not res capped because I have not finished crafted my helm, my shield is not crafted, I'm still running Syntrex, so no rare boots, my gloves are not crafted yet, so I know that I need to craft all of those, and the ring spot is my safe spot. That means once my helm is crafted, I see what resistance I'm going to hit on that one. Once my gloves are crafted with the Chaos.multi, for example, then I see in the end what resistance do I need. I'm gonna fill that one up on my ring slot. This is the only way, the only reason why I'm wearing this ring. Because the chance to freeze, the ally damage with attacks, everything completely useless. This ring gives me 40% all resistance, and that's about it. Was just an easy solution to fix my build. Good. For the gloves, I'm having here a Contagion with increased area of effect and a Spellslinger. This is not, if you want to run Intensify, this does not work with trigger skills. And with the Spellslinger, your Contagion will become a trigger skill. So that doesn't work. And in the end, Discipline for more energy shield. So this one is just chaos spam for some life resistance or energy shield resistance, not really good at all. What I want to have, I think it was Hunter or Elder Influence gloves with chaos damage over time multiplier, and then as much as ES and resistance that I can get. The belt here is self-crafted. I was super lucky with this one, so I bought a Shaper Crystal Belt. So the cheap version would be probably getting this one to get started. I think this costs like 1 alchemy if I find it. Debated Breath gives you a bunch of energy shield recharge, increased damage, intelligence. Is a really good starter thing, and I think this one costs like 1 chaos or so, or 1 alchemy. 1 alchemy, there you go. If you want to invest more, then I would recommend going for a Crystal Belt and then spamming Dance Fossils. If you have the currency, I went with a Shaper Crystal combination. The Shaper will give me the energy shield recovery rate, while the Crusader mod gives me percentage energy shield. I did combine them with the Awakener Orb. This belt cost me about 6 or 7 exalts in the making. so not cheap at all for the base at least. And then I combined those two and it was completely garbage. So I started to spam dance fossils, and yesterday I hit this mod after like about 100 dance fossils. This belt is probably now worth 50 exalts, 100 exalts, I don't know. I've never had such a good belt. We have max ES, percentage ES, tier 1 cold res, we have energy shield recovery rate max, we have cast speed during a flask effect. So this belt gives me alone, I think, like 1,000 energy shield. So I'm currently having 7.8, now it's 6.9, so 900 energy shield just from the belt, okay? So this belt is insane. But what you want to have, as much energy shield as you can get, and the crystal belt offers you 80%, or at least 80 flat energy shield on the implicit. With the quality modifier, with the defense modifier, you get up to 96, which is just insane. But as I said, as much energy shield as you can get, resistance. Sintrig is the cheap version here. Best would be chance to dodge spell hits, I think. If you... Wait, what was this? Let me check. I started to craft some boots. God, I cannot even hit my stash here. I started crafting some boots, but I have stopped yet because I just wanted to map. You want to have this enchant dodge spell hits if you've taken a spell damage recently, which happens super often, and then as much as energy shield and resistance as you can get. There are two mods. So the Elder, I think I combined Elder with Redeemer. One of those had a chance to dodge attack hits, and the other one has chance to dodge spell hits, and I want to combine those two. But the end result was like 10 fire resistance and 3 life or something, so it was completely garbage. So I started chaos spamming and spamming some dance fossils. I hit this one with elusive, so I might just sell this one, get a new base. That will be some boots that I really want to like to have. And if you're wondering why no Tailwind elusive boots, no, Essence Drain is not a crit build, okay? And you get Tailwind on crit and you get elusive on crit, so these are no boots for us. Life resistance, dodge if you can get it, something like that. Running here, Flame Dash, Arcane Surge, Second Wind, so keep your Arcane Surge low enough so every time you use your Flame Dash you're gonna get the Arcane Surge buff. And Frenzy, this is my my trigger for the Essence Drain Contagion combo. Frenzy, because Frenzy charges give you more damage. I think it was like 4% more damage per Frenzy charge, and I can keep this one up permanently, even on bosses. You can also use Power Siphon, because I think hits with Power Siphon have Culling Strike, but I want to implement a Cluster Jewel with like Curse effect, for example, and there is one mod that I used in my Poison build, like Cursed enemies are culled or something like that, or Culling Strike against Cursed enemies, something like that. And since we run Despair, and even later with a Despair Ring, for example, we also have Culling Strike while still having Frenzy. Good. Anything else to talk about the gearing process? Probably not. Flask, Witchfire Brew at the moment because of the level 21 Despair Curse, but I would like to have it on my ring. Then a Basalt Flask with Bleed Immunity, a Quartz Flask of Curse Immunity. I have Freeze Immunity through my ring. Then we have a Jade Flask for a maximum evasion rating because of my Ghost Shrouds, basically. So I want to have as much evasion as I can have, and then a Quicksilver Flask to even move faster. Alright, let's take a look at the skill tree. I started off over here, taking these damage notes here. Here is a spot for a Watcher's Eye potential one. If you want to grab one, you have to prioritize. Do you need damage? Take the Malevolence stat. If you want to have, if you have the budget, because they are like 35 exalts with just the Clarity ES mana modifier. The thing is, it's a Hierophant League, basically. A lot of people are going for this Archmage support Stormbrand mana stacking something. That's why the stat is so expensive. So if you want to have more tankiness, take the Clarity mod. If you want to have more damage, take the damage over time multiplier. And if you're rich enough, then buy a combination of those. Then other than that, we have a Thread of Hope with a small radius to activate my face aggro. Do not skill through the acrobatics, because this will give you less armor, less energy shield, less chance to block spell and attack damage, which would kind of ruin our max block, okay? Only use this one if you have the Thread of Hope. Here are some block notes. Path of Building link is in the description below, as always. I'm using one single spreading rod here with Corrupted Blood, with the Withered for Blight. That's why I'm not running a Wither Totem here, because my Blight will stack up the Wither stacks. Other than that, here the Lethal Pride with Kiloaver. This one will activate your Glancing Blows. Here, Zealot's Oath, so you regen energy shield instead of life. And the rest here is this I took to cap my chaos resistance. As I say again, this is still in progress. But it's the current tree, but I would rather like take these 2 points away, those 3 points away, and I would have saved up 5 points. Then probably take some points away, probably somewhere here maybe. Not even sure if I need to take this cluster, and then probably go further into a cluster jewel, but I haven't checked the mods yet. I cannot recommend any cluster jewels because I need to check them myself, what would be the best for this build. At the moment, no cluster jewels at all. Good. As I said, path of building link is in the description below. We talked about the gear, the gems, the skill tree. Let's talk about the cosmetics, because a lot of people do like my MTX, but this is the expensive one. This is the core pack. The Orion supporter goes for $480, I think. So we have here the Orion hood, the Orion body armor, gloves, and boots, Celestial character effect, Celestial footprints, the Orion back attachment, the Aquila crest helmet attachment with the Delirium horns, white weapon with the Orion weapon effect, and the Sin shield. Looks pretty nice in combination with this entire MTX. Then we have some Orion portal frame, the Arcane Essence Drain, Tempest Shield doesn't have any, sadly. Then we have Celestial Aura Effect, Soul Nexus, Celestial Blight Effect, Arcane Contagion, Monolith Aura Effect, and Stygian Flame Dash. If you're wondering why I'm not using the Arcane version or the Celestial version on my other stuff, it does fit in perfectly with the MTX. The only problem that I have, if you ever played Essence Drain Contagion, you see this circle, right? The problem with the Celestial is it only appears once you cast, you see the circle, but once the Contagion spreads with the Essence Drain, you only see some shaper floor. But I would like to see, like I do it on the blue version, once an enemy dies, I see the circle, I see the range, and I see how far it will spread, and that's why I took the Arcane version, although I like the Celestial one more. Good. What is the next point? As I said, I'm going to upload now a video about the maximum delirium, and these maps are no joke. Still, the character is tanky enough to just, yeah, destroy the whole game. Just takes a little bit longer. And yeah, I hope if you have any questions, guys, please leave a comment in the description below, or at least below the video, if you need any help or something like that. This is still work in progress, but I can just say and really recommend this build. It's a lot of fun to play. A one-button Essence Drain Contagion Chaos build can run every single map mod, reflect, whatever map mod it is, and even if you get the no regen, you can still use a Mana Flask and still be fine. Good. Thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.